Hello, everyone. This is Johnny G and friends from Panamista Records. Tonight we have Mr. Ryan Oyer. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, I'm doing just fine. I'm so happy that you're with us tonight. I really appreciate you being on the podcast. Ryan is a singer-songwriter, a musician, guitar player, plays multiple instruments, and he's just a pleasure to listen to. I've listened to a couple of his concerts that he's had on online, and they've been just fabulous. And he also has a little part with Johnny G and Friends. He's done some our artwork and technical stuff with our album covers and so forth. So I'm really proud of him doing that. And I thank you, Ryan, for doing that.
Absolutely. Thanks for letting me do it.
You bet. Now, one of the first questions I'm going to ask you is what got you into music and what were your influences? Who were your influences?
Well, as long as I can remember, I was always singing. One of my earliest memories, and it kind of comes from watching VHSs of me as a kid, was I would, anytime there was a mirror, like, or I could see myself, whether it was like the ornament, the ball ornaments that are on the Christmas tree, or we had this, like, Mom and Dad had this dual cassette deck record player that I happened to be able to stand just in front of, and it had a glass front. And so I could see myself while I was singing. And, I would sing along to whatever it was that they put in front of me, basically. Like, I grew up singing a lot of Rafi.
Sure.
And thankfully I had that whole generation that had, like, Nickelodeon and that. And so, like, there was the Skidamarinky-Doo song and all those, but like on top of that, everywhere we went, there was always music going. My dad loves music. Mom loved music.
Well, do you think that helped you? I know you do a lot of live performing, so do you think that helped you with your live performances?
Oh yeah, I mean, half the songs that I play are stuff that I heard from them. I make this joke when I play that my mom was kind of like, if you've seen the movie Almost Famous, she was like the Zooey Deschanel character with her record collection, basically like handed me the keys to the universe and said, here you go.
Yeah,
like Elton John, Queen, Bowie, Beatles, and Dad was more like the Who and the Rolling Stones, and and all of us listened to and Zeppelin. He loves Zeppelin.
How can you?
All of it.
How can you not like Zeppelin?
Right. And but also we had a really great. I grew up in Detroit, and we had a really great oldie station that played Motown and British Invasion and 50s, 60s. Like that was what taught me, like, music.
That's really ironic you say that. Those are my two favorite groups.
Nice.
British Invasion and Motown. I think because I just love the songs. The guys, the people that wrote the songs, man, what great songwriters. I mean, they were so catchy and sing-along, singable with them, and I love the instrumentation. But I have a question for you. When I first saw you, you're an acoustic guy. What got you into the acoustic guitar, and what would you prefer the acoustic more than the electric?
I think just because I have both, like, acoustics and electrics, I feel more comfortable behind an acoustic simply because when I write them on acoustic, typically. Every now and then I'll write a riff on electric that starts a song or something like that. But for the most part, if I'm writing a song, I've got an acoustic guitar in my hands, and I'm a big proponent of, if you can play it on an acoustic guitar and it sounds good, then you can build upon there,
Amen. Because I'm an acoustic guy, and so is Brett, and our band is basically acoustic songs, as you all know. And if you can make it sound pretty good on the acoustic guitar, I mean, because electric you can kind of slide by with a few things.
Yeah. Especially if you turn up the gain
Absolutely, yeah. There's just a lot of different sounds you can get out of it, and the acoustic is pretty much acoustic. I mean, that's pretty much it.
It is exactly what you put onto it, you know.
Yeah. So, what comes first as a songwriter? Do the lyrics come first? Does a poem, words, or does the music come first for you?
It really depends. I would say, with me, predominantly, like, as I'm writing the words, I already have the melodies already coming with the words, most of the time.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like, as I'm writing it, I usually have a melody in mind, and then I have to sit down and figure out what goes with that melody when I finally get to a guitar. Because a lot of times, lately especially, will find myself, I get an hour for lunch, and I just go.
That's nice.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so I usually go grab my lunch, and then there's this little vacant lot right by my work with a tree in it, and I go sit under the tree. Because, you know, being inside in a factory like environment isn't very conducive for creativity, but like I'll go to sit under the tree, and that's usually when I write these days. It's not
sound like a '60s man.
I know, right?
Yeah,
right?
I love that.
But in that case too, like, there's been times. Yeah, there's been times where, like, part of one of my jobs at work is running it's basically like a proofing press, and sometimes I have to, like, wait on the guys to bring the giant cylinders to to get the proofs going. And I might have 15 minutes where I'm sitting there, and I'll just pull out whatever song I'm working on. I tend to lately also use my phone because it's right in my hand. I open up my notepad and just go with it. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of came from a book I was reading and still reading. Probably finish it after we finish talking. But I started reading Jeff Tweedy's book it's called How to Write One Song. And is written towards, somebody who's never written a song before. But I find that, a lot of the things that I do, he talks about in the book. And so it's kind of like confirmation of, like, you're going about this in somewhat the right way. But there's also all these ideas that I get from it that, like, if you know you've got 15 minutes, why not sit there and see if you can write a song in 15 minutes?
Sure.
What?
Yeah, why not?
Right. Because you never know what you're going to come up with.
Yeah, I think for me, I really enjoy writing. I love writing. That's my favorite part of it. And I'm not sure I've ever written anything prolific. Most of it's just love songs, something happy. I'm basically a happy person, so you kind of write what I'm feeling or thinking about. And I'm a little like McCartney in the sense that I don't think you can have enough love songs.
No, I don't think so. And I mean, there's a reason that it's been written about for years and years and years, and even before people were writing songs, people were writing poetry, and it's because it's a very strong emotion and something that we all want to hold on to when we've got it, And one of the best ways I find to hold on to something is for me to write it down, and then I'll never forget it.
Amen to that. I mean, I have some buddies that kind of laugh and snicker and say, "What are you still doing, man? You've been doing this for 40, 50 years, man." I go, it's like anything else. You have a little idea and you put it down, and then you may move on, but then you go, hey, go back on the shelf, and you go, I remember that. That was kind of cool, And the thing is, too, and you and I probably experienced this, it's nice, too, to have someone else have that experience. So if they listen to it and they go, hey, thank you. I really got a good feeling from that or good something from that, and you go, well,
Yeah.
hey, thanks for the compliment. That's cool, because I did too. I wanted you to feel the same way that I did when I wrote the song.
Right.
Hey, I
Right.
have a question for you, and
Sure.
that is, I know you're a live performer, and so what have you been doing to help out tell the other musicians, what have you been doing to kind of get gigs? I know it's kind of opening up a little bit, right, with the pandemic, kind of with the vaccinations going pretty well. And so what have you been doing?
Well, so far, I was very fortunate last year that I felt safe doing outside gigs. So there was a couple places, Gate 11 in the Choo Choo complex. I did the Southern Bell quite a bit, and they're going to be starting up soon. So
how do musicians get a hold? We got some singer-songwriters out there that are listening to tonight. How did they get a hold of these places? Just call them up and...
Yeah, that's one of the best ways is to say, like, hey, who do I talk to about this? About booking, and who can I pass my information to? Mm-hmm. And the key is, send a message and follow up and say, like, hey, have you had a chance? Don't be obnoxious, but that second phone call can go a long way.
Sure.
Or Facebook message or email or whatever it is.
Do you send a CD or anything of that nature, or tell them where they can listen to your music on YouTube and things of that nature?
Yeah, these days I predominantly will send like a YouTube link, and most people they'll know whether you're good for their venue within 20 seconds.
Sure.
If you send them the right thing, I tend to, if I'm talking to a venue like that, where it's going to be like me and an acoustic guitar, then I'm going to send them a video of me and an acoustic guitar so they know what they're getting. If it's, something bigger, then I'll send, like, here's a full-on produced song. This is what I'm capable of. That kind of thing.
Now, you have a new song out called Rise and Shine that I really like. Is that going to be accompanied on a new album?
It is. The album's also going to be called Rise and Shine.
Cool.
And I wrote the whole thing for my boys. And I have a 9-year-old and a 1-year-old. Well, he's almost 2. He's like 3 months shy.
I'll put a guitar on that guy.
Yeah. And,
so, where can people purchase the new album when it comes out?
When it comes, so it's going to be, I'm going to release it digitally and on CD in May. But then we're also doing vinyl in June. So.
Oh, very cool.
I'm stoked about it.
Who'd you go through to do the vinyl?
So I will be using Standard Vinyl is the name of them.
Where are they located?
They're actually in Canada. But the only reason that I chose a Canadian company, not that like I don't have any problems with Canada.
Sure,
I'm from we were neighbors.
We're musicians, man. We kind of look for the best deals, And quality and the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Since this is my first time doing it, I'm going to run like a low quantity, and that's what I looked for. Was like, where can I do a low quantity that's like reasonable, And it just so happened that we got our stimulus back at the right moment.
Awesome.
And I'm going to stimulate vinyl.
Hey, good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah. But on top of that, like I really, like I taught my sons how to use the record player. Well, not my 2-year-old. He doesn't know yet. But like, I showed my 9-year-old how to take care of records, how to put the needle down. And part of it for me is just that's something that if they keep it well, they can hold on to forever. They can play it for their grandkids,
Absolutely.
And because songwriting, and I think you can back me on this one too. I went to see one of my favorite bands in Washington, D.C., and I took my son, and my dad was there, and my sister. And he started playing this song. There's a band called Elbow. They're from Manchester, England. And they started playing this song, and the lead singer was talking about how he wrote the song from stories his grandfather was telling him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, while this is happening, I realized that, the stories that we tell our kids are our legacy in a very big way. Those are the stories that get passed on. Those are the things that get remembered. Besides, like, the care and love and memories.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
they need to hear that.
Right.
Yes.
And so to me, like, especially now, every time I write a song, it's how is this going to affect them, and so I kind of took that to the nth degree, where I was like, well, I'm going to write them an album, and so that they can have it. And this is my dad, and this is what he came up with in his thoughts and during a pandemic. But thankfully, I get to spend a lot of time with them and focus on them.
Very cool, Ryan.
So
I want you to say back one of your LPs. I like to buy that first LP. My first LP was made in the 70s. And,
nice.
And I still have a couple of copies and really relish those because it's just kind of a neat thing. I don't know, something about having an album.
Well, I always told myself when I started doing this, vinyl had started becoming popular again, and like newer bands were putting their records on vinyl at that point. This was like 2010-ish, and I told myself, I was like, if I can put a record on vinyl, then I will consider myself a decent musician. And here I am.
There you go.
10 years. It only took me 11 years.
I will already tell you, you're a decent musician. You're a great musician, man. I love your work. So, Ryan, thank you so much for being part of Jonny G and Friends. Thank you for being our friend, and thank you for all your talent and sharing your talent with people in Tennessee and other places that you go. I really appreciate that. And keep up the good work, being a great dad. That's awesome, man. So I'm going to play tonight, if you don't mind, the Rise and Shine song. And then also, I think we have a couple minutes. You have a little short song you like to play live for us?
Sure.
Well, before you do that, is there a song of ours that you would like to hear?
Yeah, will you play Valentine?
Sure, the Valentine song will do.
Yes.
And
yes.
So, what song do you have something there? I know you got your guitar.
I do. This was actually probably the first song that I wrote. What ended up being the first song that I wrote towards this record. I didn't realize it at the time, but it's actually about Detroit, which I'm going up to visit my family soon, and also while I'm there, I'm going to go to the Motown Museum, which will be cool. But
very nice.
But this song was I have spent so much of my life writing about and towards other people, and for this one, this is the first time I started really talking about myself.
All right.
And, so this is called Carpenter's Son.
Carpenter's Son.
Let me get in tune.
So for all you musicians out there, that's step one, is get in tune. Gotta have that guitar in tune.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Son, West Detroit is where I come from. Made my way to Tennessee. It's probably where they'll bury me. A Yankee mix with Southern charm. John Lennon tattoo on my arm. Got a blue balloon to carry me. And suns that shine so brilliantly. I'm a dreamer with my head up in the clouds. Keep my feet firm on this sacred ground. And I remember where I come from, 'cause I was born a carpenter's son. My father's feet, they forged the way. And that's the path I strive to take. Got an angel for a sister too. She shines as bright as diamonds do. Wanna leave this world more beautiful. Some might say that I'm unusual, but I know I'm not the only one. 'Cause I was born carpenter's son. Dreamer with my head up in the clouds. Keep my feet firm on this sacred ground. And I remember where I come from, 'cause I was born carpenter's son. And I was born a carpenter's son.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Ryan. Outstanding, just outstanding.
Thank you, John.
Brother, thank you so much for being on our show tonight. And where can they reach you? Do you have a website or anything?
Yeah, RyanOyer.com has pretty much all my links connected to it. But you can find me on Facebook /Ryan Oyer, YouTube /Ryan Oyer, and anything should be /Ryan Oyer. So
Okay, I'm going to spell that for everyone. It's Ryan, Ryan, and then Oyer is Oyer.
that's correct.
Okay, so thanks again, and everyone tonight, we hope you had a great evening, and we hope you have a great week this week. So from Benefits to Records, everyone have a great night.
Thank you.
Ooh, she wakes up in the morning and she turns my day around. Never complaining, even though it could be found. I'm back on the road again, needing my favorite friend. I wish I could give her castles in her dreams. I wish I could give her the best of everything. I wish I could give her moments of her life. I give her my treasure. whispers throughout each afternoon, and she holds her head up high, doing what she has to do, and she's always getting by. I'm back on the road again, needing my favorite friend. I wish I could give her castles in her dreams. I wish I could give her the best of everything. I wish I could give her moments of her life. I give her my treasures, my love, all my life. I wish I could give her castles in her dreams. I wish I could give her the best of everything. I wish I could give her